Hello and welcome to the Warrior Strengthcast. I'm your host, Lauren Green, and I'm here with my co-host,
Shannon Green.
We swap the co-host and host every now and then. No one rules the pants in this family. No one rules the pants. Y'all know what I mean. So today on the podcast we have Maria Barba and Steve Brown. They were up here from Victoria recently. Yep. They come and stayed up here for a week and they trained in the gym with us, which was really great to have them. And I was really honoured that Maria said yes to coming on the podcast because she's a very private person. Yeah, she'll never be one to self-promote. So it was really great to have her on here. She's always been very supportive of me since I began powerlifting. And Steve Brown as well. They both are very knowledgeable people. They've been in the industry for a very long time, and we covered some great topics with them.
They've been in the industry for over 40 years, and they both run an extremely successful personal training business. You'll hear Steve mention he does about 120 sessions a week.
Yeah.
And he's had people on his waiting list to get spots in peak time slots for 10 to 15 years. So he's
demand man.
Yeah, he's in demand, but he knows what he's doing.
Yep.
And also Maria, and probably the main reason that we wanted to get her on the podcast, she's doing something really awesome at the moment. She volunteers her time to a non-profit organisation called Strength for Cancer. It's strength training for chemotherapy patients. We're going to put the links to this below for their Facebook and their website.
If anybody wants to get involved.
They've got a high demand for this. They just don't have enough trainers on board. So if any PTs want to get involved in this and volunteer some time for a good cause, jump on their Facebook and message them. At the moment, they're currently only operating in Victoria, but if it's successful enough, they want to branch it out to other states. So even if you're in another state, maybe just send them an email or a Facebook message and say, hey, we're in another state. If you get it up and running here, we'd like to get on board.
Yeah.
I think it's a real worthwhile cause.
It's an amazing cause.
Yeah.
It's really, who wouldn't want to support it?
Exactly.
We've all been affected by cancer somehow. So, yeah.
In the podcast, you'll hear a lot of bulldog noise.
Oh, yeah. So Maria and Steve both love bulldogs. They have a bulldog, Lucy. So they played with George and Otis a lot while they were here. And on this particular day, George ran wild with Otis. So George isn't generally very active. But he went for a really big drink while Maria first started talking, and then he also fell asleep and snored the house down. So apologies for all the sound effects by good old George in the background, but he just comes with us. He's part of the package. Just like Shannon with his deep breathing.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the podcast.
Enjoy.
Thanks.
All right. Hi, Maria. Hello. I just wanted to have a little chat with you and ask how you got into training and how, personally for yourself, and then how you got into coaching.
Okay.
And how long you've been doing that for.
So I started training when I was 13.
Yep.
Many years ago. And it started, I was running at the park, and a coach had his team there, saw me running and asked if I did any weight training. Said no, had no idea, I was only 13, and said, you should do some weight training to strengthen your legs. You'd run faster and longer. And so I listened to him and I started training with weights at a gym called Finlay's Gym, which was a men's bodybuilding gym. It was 5Ks from home. And
you didn't run there, did you?
I did.
I knew you were going to say that.
I did, because my father wouldn't pay for my membership because at the time women didn't do weights.
Yeah.
So I used to run to the gym, do my workout. So the men that were there just would tell me what to do. Actually, I was charged $1 a day, $1 for a session.
Yeah.
And then I would run home before he got home.
Yeah.
So that's how I got into weight training and loved it. So I was strong and I was taught by, dinosaurs of the industry.
Yeah.
and it just grew from there.
Awesome. And then how did you get into coaching?
It's always because it's what I loved. If I wasn't studying, going to school, I was doing something in the gym.
Yep.
So I knew that that's what I wanted to do. So as soon as I could, I started doing whatever courses were available at the time in the physical fitness industry, and started from there. I lived overseas for 12 years, so my, again, training to become a coach wasn't... it was a step at a time, so it's had to start with group training, just exercise training, writing programs in gyms, aerobics, teaching aerobics, and then step by step it went on from there. And then as courses became available, I qualified more and more.
Yeah.
So how old were you when you originally started, like, coaching per se?
So I started teaching when I was 18.
Oh, 18. Okay,
18.
Yeah.
I started doing my first... So I had to teach at night because I had to sustain myself, so work during the day.
Yeah.
So at night I would take group classes and teach. So 18 started from there.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's good.
Along the way I had kids, so sometimes I would have to stop.
Yep.
But it just then went from there.
Okay. And can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing now?
At the moment, now I'm a personal trainer and a coach. I run my own business out of Snap Gym in Melbourne, and I work more in the field of... I'm doing something very interesting at the moment, which I'm loving. It's very rewarding. I'm part of a committee called Strength Over Cancer. It's a non-for-profit organisation, which I'm a part of, and we train... Our participants are people that have either just come out of chemo, are going through chemotherapy, or have cancer, or have anything at the moment, need strength training to just get better.
That's
As we
awesome.
know, best medicine.
Yeah, absolutely. That's unreal. That must feel rewarding.
What are some of the results that you've seen, like as far as we were discussing the other day, how you've been collecting data and stuff like that?
Okay, so as we all know, chemotherapy it does help with fighting the cancer, but at the same time it has a very debilitating effect on the entire body, the toxicity of it. So the strength training helps the body, we become stronger on a physiological level, and it helps the body to fight the disease, and also the benefits of it. The chemotherapy is better received with a stronger body through weight training, and it's able to do its job without debilitating the body so much. The data we've collected, so the participants have all incurred lean muscle mass. The ones that have been through the training program, they are stronger mentally. They cope better. Their energy levels are much better. So instead of going home and, laying on the couch or in bed, they feel much better doing a session. And it just helps them also to get through their day. And we notice at the end of the 6 weeks, they just feel so much better than maybe their first round of chemo when they didn't do the program, and then they do it, and
they can notice it a lot. That's great.
That's awesome. And then what about, you were saying about how you had people squat, benching and deadlifting essentially?
Yes, so the participants that did a what's called the power program, so more of the heavy exercises, big compound exercises, they incurred the most muscle mass, lean tissue. Their physiological, hormonal, metabolic response to that type of training was higher to perhaps the participants that had been through lower intensity exercises or more cardio-based exercises. So that's what the data is showing.
And they're showing a positive benefit. So
yes,
you're saying now that they're starting to implement the action.
And that's yes. So because of that, so far that data that's been collected, they're starting to implement more of those compound exercises, big heavy movements in the programs. So the physiologists.
So they're suggesting that should be part of an actual program for these people.
Yes.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's
great. Really good.
Yeah.
And what about your actual training history? So you started in that gym. When did you start competing in powerlifting, and you've also competed in bodybuilding as well?
So bodybuilding, so competition when I was 20 overseas, then 30, then 40, then 50.
Yeah.
Oh, so you really have only done it every 10
10
years.
years.
That's unreal.
Yes.
Yeah.
And as I was saying, I love the process of the training process of the bodybuilding preparation. I don't love getting up on stage. So perhaps that's why
only do it every 10
years.
Yeah.
And just to see how the muscle mass actually, from when I was 20 to now that I'm 50, I've had greater muscle mass, better muscle now than I did when I was 50. And also mentally, the preparation it got a lot easier as I was older to when I was younger.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
And probably just because you've also been through it before and you know what to expect each time, yeah?
Yes, and I think, it's not, oh my God, I'm going to go without for 6 months.
Yeah.
You don't have those thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more of just enjoying each day and seeing the changes.
Seeing the process.
Yeah. Powerlifting. That's an interesting one.
Just before we go into powerlifting, how much has your the process changed for your bodybuilding preparations? Did you do like a lot of cardio back in the beginning? Is it different now?
Yes. So this last one that I did, I only did cardio, as in it was a 45-minute walk, 5 weeks out.
Yep.
45-minute walk.
Every day? Or
no, 4 days a week.
Okay.
So that's the difference.
Yeah, and in the beginning,
when I was 20, 3 hours of cardio a day.
Yeah.
Kill yourself with cardio.
Yeah.
All your muscle used to go and you'd wonder why. True. That's the difference. I think, train with heavier weights, ate more fats.
Yep.
The difference
Yeah,
at the time was no fats.
Weren't allowed.
No fats. Yeah. Just chicken and broccoli.
Yeah.
That was it.
So your suicidal rate has gone down as well as you've done it more.
Yeah.
You can eat other
Whereas
food.
now it's been high fats.
Yeah.
High fats, less cardio, heavier weights. So different style of training also.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. And so powerlifting?
Powerlifting's okay, so I never really looked into powerlifting until I met Steve, my partner. And
we'll get to you in a minute.
So I was about 38, 40. We were training at Body World, and
38.
Yeah, and I said to Steve, I'd like to train powerlifting. I said, who's a really good coach or the best coach in Melbourne, because that's where I'd like to go. So at the time, Steve introduced me to Barry Murray.
Yep.
And Barry wouldn't take me on. No, I'm not coaching anyone. I said, Barry, I'll do anything.
Come on, Barry.
I don't talk. I don't ask questions.
Yeah.
You just tell me what to do and I'll do. So, and that's how I started.
Okay.
So started training. Barry put me through some coaching, and I started competing. But when I started competing, a nationals competition, women's flight would be 7 women.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like today.
Much,
No.
Now.
So there were some good competitions, but there just weren't enough women. So competed, equipped, and then it's great to see 10 years down the track or 13 years down the track how far we've come. It's just amazing.
Kill it.
Yeah.
So good to see.
Yeah, it is good.
What are your best numbers to date?
Today 112.5 bench, 205 deadlift, and 202.5 squat.
Awesome.
And that's
what's
in a
the best
3 lift
total?
comp. 520.
520.
Yes.
That's awesome. That's a crazy total.
So
especially at 50
I'm very
years of
happy.
age.
So
That's
I feel privileged to still be able to train like I do at 53.
Yeah.
So, and I'm just happy to be able to go to the gym and do what I love most.
Yeah. That's obviously a testament to obviously you looking after your body and
your
obviously
work
training
ethic.
and having like obviously great mentors along the way, especially guys like Barry Murray and stuff
Steve,
like that. And Steve, and just good technique from the start. Essentially, obviously you started training in an old school bodybuilding gym, and I'm guessing a lot of the stuff that went on in there was not what goes on in fitness first and stuff like that these days.
No smoke machine mirrors.
No, the dumbbells were still like they were round like cannonballs, like kettlebells, a kettlebell. So that's where our dumbbells were like.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, it was it's a long time now.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't do anything else.
Yeah,
it's very cool.
Yeah, that's unreal.
And so,
all right, Big Steve.
Steve Brown. How you going, mate?
I'm good.
Tell us a bit about your history in essentially training, and then when you became a trainer, and what you've done as far as
sporting background
and everything like that.
I go back to 3 years of age.
Yeah.
Played rugby at 3, surf club at 3, little athletics at 4, and just grew up through that. Raced push bikes from 10. Finished school, joined the army. And when I joined the army, I became a physical training instructor in the army. I was in the army for 12 years. I had absolutely the best mentors and coaches in the army as far as getting fit.
Yeah.
And good guidance for getting mental toughness.
Yeah.
Got out of the army in 1989. But before I got out of the army, I moved around a bit in the army and was in Melbourne, and decided I wanted to be a bodybuilder. So I did a little bit of homework to find out what was a good gym to go to. So I ended up going to a gym called Muscle Australia, run by and owned by a guy called Rocco Pedisano. And in his day, he was the god of bodybuilding. Him and a couple of guys from Sydney, Paul Graham, and another guy from Melbourne, Frank Burwash. And I fronted up these stairs. I walked up the stairs to the top, to the reception counter. I said, who could I speak to about being a bodybuilder? And he started laughing. And in those days, I weighed 54 kilo. And he said, here's a diet. He said, follow the diet. And if you're serious and you put on 12 kilos, he said, come back and see me. So I fronted up back there, and I put on the 12 kilos, and that was the beginning of my weight training.
How long did it take you to put the 12 kilos on?
12 weeks.
Yeah, that's dedication.
Yeah.
Imagine if you did that at gyms now.
Yeah.
People would laugh at someone and went, follow this and come back when you reach that goal. No one would ever go to the gym.
No.
Yeah.
So, that was the beginning of my serious weight training. I'd done a bit as a young bloke playing rugby and stuff like that, but that was where it all started. And I did my first competition in about October 1986, Mr. East Coast. Yeah, so it's the beginning, and since then until today we've done 20 odd 30 30 bodybuilding shows, and I don't know how many powerlifting shows.
So that's obviously not every 10 years like Maria, if you've done 30.
No.
So you fell in love with it? Do you like being on stage?
Do I like being on stage? I think a bit like Maria, being on stage is the thing you have as the end product for the work that you've put in. No, not necessarily do I like being on stage. I don't dislike it, but it's not the power of the event. The power of the event is the preparation.
Yeah.
And I said to you a little while ago, about a week out is when it all comes together. And that's when always feel best, you look best. Yeah. The show is the show, and that's what you got to do. No, I did a lot of shows in the early days, sometimes 2 or 3 a year. And then I didn't do one for 10 years, and then I didn't do another one for 14 years. So I packed into the early days to start with. But I still enjoy them. I love the bodybuilding. I love the bodybuilding movements that actually shape and create a body.
Yeah.
Still like those. But I like the feeling of the strength. And the powerlifting came off the back of the bodybuilding.
And your Olympic lifting?
Yeah, and I in the middle of it, competed nationally in Olympic lifting. Did all right with that. I had a coach by the name of Peter Cayley at the Victorian Institute of Sport. He used to call me the dumb bodybuilder. And he said, we'll never make anything out of you. Anyhow, we both persevered and wandered along that and had a good time.
Eh? Yeah. Tough love is on all fronts.
Tough love.
So what was your best clean and jerk and snatch?
Best clean and jerk, 177.5. And that's quite a few years ago now. And best snatch, 142.5.
Excellent. At what body weight?
110.
110.
Yeah. So that was a completely different experience. Peter Cayley, the coach, was an ex-Olympian, and he was stick thin and moved like lightning. So every time he taught you something, it'd take me about 50 takes to actually watch and see what he was doing. He was absolutely brilliant. He had my measure really well. So he was perfect for me.
Yeah, that's good. It's good when you got the right connection with the coach, isn't it? It makes a difference.
Oh, massive difference. The coach is the making of you. And if you go to a coach and you don't take on what the coach is going to give you, then you're not doing yourself any favours and you're not going to learn anything. You know, and sport, and especially powerlifting, is about learning every time you go to the gym.
Yep.
I think that's missed a lot these days. People don't treat powerlifting per se more like the movement is a sport. It's like any sporting event. You go in the gym and you've got sets at 50%, 60%, 70% or whatever, and they're there to practice the reps. But I see a lot of people just going in and mindlessly
going through the motions
and then actually treating it like it needs to be. Like obviously you don't go into Olympic lifting and just
try and chuck a
just
weight
bung
over
out
your
a couple of
head.
cleans, you know. No. Every rep you do, your coach is there, fix this, do this, finish the pull, shrug a little bit harder, you know, get under the weight faster, everything like that. I think that's probably one of the things that's probably missed a lot these days.
Maria and I, like probably more Maria than I do, but you know, every time we go to the gym and every time that Maria goes to see her coach or coaches, comes home and talks about something she's learnt on the day.
Yeah,
always.
You know, every day, and you know, I think that's a paramount importance. That every time you go to train and you have a coach, you learn. Yeah. You know, and as much as you think you know, the more you think you know, the less you know.
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
What do you think about online coaching?
What do I think about online coaching? I try not to think about it. I just don't. My person doesn't think that it's something that works, because a coach is something you need to have the emotion out of. You need to have the eye-to-eye contact out of. You need to understand and absorb what that coach is telling you, not what's written or what you can see on a screen.
Yeah.
You know, it's a very, to have a good coach and to gain from the coach is a very personal reaction. And as far as online coaching for me as a person, it just doesn't ring true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Doesn't ring true. And I'm sure there's some really outstanding coaches out there that do online coaching, but their presentation one-on-one personally would be impacted probably 50% greater.
Yeah.
Than they are online.
Yep.
So it doesn't mean that they're any less a coach. I don't think they're prevailing themselves as best as they could do. You know, and I think that's just how some businesses are.
Yeah.
I don't operate as a business.
Yeah. And so do you have clients at the moment? What sort of coaching do you do?
I run a PT business. In essence, I've been a PT since I joined the Army, so that's 40 years. Mm-hmm. I've been at it now. I do about 120, 130 appointments per week, each and every week, and have done for several decades.
Yep.
My client base very rarely changes. Try to stick into every client, get some compound movements in. give them the fitness that they need. Each and every client I have, I script individually. Not everyone fits the same bill. You can't give everybody the same thing. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
It doesn't work for them, and it doesn't work for my head. Yeah, and I think I run a reasonably successful small business, and I've been there for a long time, and I think the time prevails the event, and I try to offer a high quality product. Mm-hmm. I offer a high quality venue, and I listen. My knowledge is from what I listen to.
Yep.
What I learn and what I know comes from my clients. What I know from my own training experience, I give them a little bit, but you can't give them a lot. Yeah, it's about how you get your clients to understand that the consistency of their output is the winner, not the individual outputs. Mm-hmm. It's week in, week out, being consistent will give you the best result. And it's not going to stop you getting anything, but it's going to help you recover from anything.
Yeah. That word consistency
keeps popping up.
Just comes up all the time, doesn't it? It's funny that. I wonder if people take it on as much as we like to spit it out. Yeah.
It's just, it is the key.
That's how it works.
It's the absolute key.
Yep.
Yeah.
And do you have anyone competing competing in powerlifting? Any of your clients?
No, not at the moment. I've got several clients that have competed in the past, but no, I'm not really training anybody for powerlifting at the moment. I've got enough issues with myself at the moment. I had a heart attack about a year ago.
Yep.
And I'm getting back to. I'm actually past my best, and I'm better than I've ever been now.
That's awesome.
So that goes well. I'm training a young guy as a bodybuilder, who will be a success. He will be a success. He's got his head screwed on. He's got a massive work ethic. He's a great presentable package. He's the biggest kid I've ever seen in my life. So he will go well.
And he's got that long-term vision, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah.
He's not about the short term. He's all about that end goal that he knows.
Oh, he sends me a message yesterday.
Take the steps.
Yeah, he just said, it's the long term, boss. That's it. So, yeah, he's got the right idea. But no, as far as coaching powerlifting, no.
And what about your lifts? So if you're in the best shape now ever, what's next for you? Well, what are your best lifts so far, and what are you aiming for?
I don't really. I had the national records with Raw Records. That was about 6 or 7 years ago. That was 270 squat, 272 and a half deadlift, and 127 and a half bench. Yeah, that was the Raw Records of total 870 and equipped. And now the training since I've had the heart attack, my raw training, my deadlifts are just about to go into 220s for sets. My squats are just coming up to 200s for sets. These are all totally raw.
Yep.
So
no belt.
No belt, none of that.
Belt, no wraps, no nothing. So.
Yeah, I saw your deadlift yesterday. You didn't even have socks on. I'm very happy how I'm going. I think I'll be 59 next birthday, and I think that I'll present myself reasonably well next year again. Yep, that's unreal.
Yeah, so.
And mentally coming back from the heart attack, how was that? Getting back into, or just getting recovered and getting back into the gym?
Had a bad patch for a while, not long after the heart attack. Mentally, a really bad hole where I questioned my viability as a human being. And I went and saw a psychologist for a while about that, and she said that's normal. She said you'll get over it, and I have.
Yeah.
And just decided that I'm not going to be pressured by any numbers, any programs. I'm just going to stick to what I do week to week, and at this point and to this point, it's probably the best preparation that I've had for any competition. Unpressured, but lifting really, really well. So it's been quite interesting for me. Yeah. teaches you about yourself.
It sure does, I'm sure. So with nutrition, what do you guys do to keep in shape? You're obviously both strong as fuck. So yeah, is there anything that you've like implemented? Well, we already spoke about the difference between bodybuilding back 20 years ago. But with your nutrition now, do you kind of track anything or do you eat a certain way?
Yeah, we eat really well.
Yeah.
We meal prep everything.
Yep.
I do.
She meal preps everything.
Everything. I want to do well every day. And the only way I'm going to do well every day in my work, in just the energy that I need all day, every day, is by eating well.
Yep.
And it's my golden rule. It doesn't change. So I eat lots of protein.
Yep.
Vegetables, good fats, and carbohydrates.
Yeah.
Truckload of food.
Yeah.
She eats a truckload
I
of food.
eat a lot.
Yeah. And
When
do you
I'm
eat like
getting
4 or
ready
5
for
meals a day?
Yeah.
or?
So when I'm getting ready to compete, I eat 7 to 8 meals a day because my day starts at. We get up at 4. My day starts at 5 at work. It's a long day. It doesn't finish till 10 o'clock at night. I need food to be able to get through the day and recover from training and everything else. So and if I'm not competing, it's about 5 meals a day. So that's and all of protein, carbs, and fats.
Just actual meals.
Yeah,
Sorry,
real
just-
food.
just
actual
real
meals.
food.
Real food,
Actual
Yeah.
real
meals,
food. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. It doesn't. That's the way it is. And if weekends, I don't back off on weekends because I bench on a Monday and I want to be strong on a Monday. So I know that if I eat well on the weekend as well,
I think
good.
that's a great point
Yeah,
there
so
that a lot
that's-
of people miss.
so yeah, you can't. You just.
The weekend goes to shit, and then they wonder why.
It's okay.
Mondays and
90% of the
Tuesdays
time you
training
eat
suck.
well, and 10% you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that 90% has to be the way it is if you want to perform in everything in your
I
everyday
think we
life.
spoke about that on one of our other podcasts about, we were going to with my diet. Like that's where, when I first started getting into shape, like, 10, 20, 15 years ago, I wanted abs, but then that never happened because you don't want abs as much as you want a night out with your friends or whatever.
Yeah.
But then when I started training to a strength program that had numbers written out, for the weeks ahead, and then I wasn't hitting those numbers on a Monday, and I'd be like, well, I don't drink, I don't party all night, like what's going on? And then, but by the end of the week, my numbers were good because I'd been eating really well Monday to Friday.
That's it.
And then on the weekends, we'd just be more relaxed. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm going to start nailing my food on the weekend. And then my body ended up being a byproduct of my strength goals. So funny that. Find enough and motivating enough reason to stick with something. And strength for me was that reason. Yeah.
What are your guys' thoughts on the biggest issues you see in people doing lately with their training, or just in general, like as far as powerlifting goes and bodybuilding? Just your perspective on it.
I have a lot of respect for everybody because everybody, I believe I can learn something from everybody.
Yeah.
However, I personally believe if you want to really teach something, you have to put yourself through it.
Yeah.
It's not about the textbook. The textbook is a generalization.
Yeah.
Every single person is an individual. So something that works for one may not work for the other, but you need to be able to explain why. And the only way to do that is you have to put yourself through it.
100%.
Because it's those little tiny tweaks that count, as yesterday with you, Lauren, with feet, for my deadlift. Those are the things that make the difference.
Yeah.
And that goes back to, then again, the online coaching and how, for me personally, it's something that I don't agree with for, getting ready for a competition.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
I
my
think,
two bobs
like
worth.
obviously with that, with online coaching, I think it's great if you're at a decent level already and you know how to coach yourself, you film yourself and you've got a good grasp on the exercises, and then it's basically someone externally managing the fatigue with your program. But then you've got a lot of guys and girls that are newbies to the sport and they think that there's going to be something magical about a program, and they seek out an online coach because they've got great numbers on Instagram and stuff like that. But you can't. Beginners just don't progress, and you see videos posted all the time of people with horrendous technique and
the fundamentals and
new PR
basics.
and PR doesn't matter. PR matters on the platform.
Yeah.
And that's probably one of the biggest mistakes I see people making is they're just not putting the time in to develop the technique.
That's right. And the conditioning.
Yeah.
I see a lot of new people come through. They have potential.
Yeah.
Somebody picks them up that's only been doing it for 5 minutes, as we said yesterday, pushes them
To the limit.
The injuries start, and it's never, and then they
disappear.
That's right.
And they could be a sensation, and they get great numbers in the short term, but they can't sustain it, and they disappear.
Yeah. And that's why I think we're doing what we're doing at our age, because it's a long-term project.
Yeah.
And you have to be patient.
Yeah.
And work with it.
Yeah, it's a really interesting thing. When I came to powerlifting, I watched two people who were then 15 years older than me, Laurie Butler and Taylor Young, and they're still around today.
Yeah.
And they still lift massive weights for their age. They're 70 plus years of age now, and the thing that was inherently obvious with both of them was technically, right, and more importantly, the amount of time they spent on conditioning themselves, the amount of sets and repetitions they did at a lower end to achieve the high end.
Yeah.
And if you look at both of them, you can't get any more high end than them. The thing that is in my mind and is integral in me is that I will make you go over the technique of anything 1,000 times before I'll give you a weight.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to get the technique right means that your injuries are going to be limited. They're not going to be there. They're going to be there.
Yeah.
Right? But they're going to be limited, and your wear and tear will be less.
Yeah.
All right. And once you've got the base techniques of the lifts, just the three basic lifts, then you are going to be able to improve yourself consistently and regularly, right across them all, and just consistency.
Yep.
That word consistency again.
Ding, we need a little consistency.
Sounds magic. Yeah, about Laurie Butler. I remember at might have been 2014, the GPA World, and I was talking to him, and we were talking about his old training, and he was saying that how he built his biggest deadlift was with 1.5 deadlifts. So do half, go down, come all the way up, and he'd build them up for doing 5 sets of 5.
Yep.
I think he said his best maybe was 250. I don't know, could be wrong, something around that, maybe a little bit more. But he said that's what built his biggest deadlift of all time. He never deadlifted really a full deadlift till the meet, and he was training obviously with a significant less amount of weight. But another profound thing that he said to me, which has worked extremely well for myself and Lauren and slightly older clients that I got, is he said that he used to do 4 days a week, and then as he got older he found he couldn't recover, so he took that 4-day-a-week program and did it over 10 days. So he had a squat day, a bench day, a deadlift day, and an overhead press day. So he used to do that in 1 week, but then he modified it so that then he did Monday, Wednesday, Friday was squat, bench, deadlift. The next week was overhead press, squat, bench, and then it followed on from there. And I found when Lauren wasn't recovering so well, we implemented that, and she had great success with it, and I've had great success using it myself, and I've had great success with it using it on my other clients that are slightly older, and I've got some young clients who actually, I've got a kid who's 15, and I've put it into his training program, and he's doing extremely well with it. So just little things like that, offhand comments from guys who have been around a long time, and they say things, and people forget what people say, but probably some of the best things I've learned about training have come from offhand comments in just a general conversation with someone. I think that's some of the best things you can take away from people, and especially people like that have been in the industry an extremely long time. Too many people are turning and looking to all these new Instagram sensations, but there's one thing the strength coach Dan John, I think it was Dan John, he said never trust a strength coach under 40 years old because they haven't had enough years of torture on their body to be able to determine how much they're destroying someone. And I think, again, learning from and listening to people and talking to people like you guys and other guys, Barry Murray and Laurie Butler and stuff like that, I think there's something invaluable in that I think a lot of lifters are missing out on.
It's amazing how far it's come in the last 10 years. 10 years just taken off.
Especially the women.
It's truly inspiring watching the women.
It's
like I'm absolutely flabbergasted over the last 2 years what I've watched. You know, it's like example now, Maria pound for pound is well stronger than I am.
Yeah.
You know, and there's so many girls out there that are doing the same sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's been it's inspiring to watch.
I'll never forget meeting you guys. I met you both at the Melbourne Summer Classic last year, so 2017, and it was my first time competing out of Warrior and out away from the gym, and my first comp in wraps as well. So I wanted to go and see if I could get an invite to Pro Raw. So I booked to go to the comp at PTC headquarters, and then I ended up getting an invite to Pro Raw a week earlier anyway. I said, maybe I won't go, but I was like, no, I needed to do the comp in wraps. And I was sitting there and I was like, you know, so I didn't really know anybody down there, and then I was sitting there, had just try and focus, headphones on, whatnot, and then I saw you go up and say something to Shannon, and I was like, oh, I've got to focus on my lift, and then after I did, I was like, what did he say? So I was like, I just knew, I don't know, you know, when you just get that feeling that, and you're like, I can't even remember what you said now, but it was good. I remember it was good. I probably do remember what it was, but I just remember just thinking, you know, when you meet someone and you go, I want to know what like your opinion matters, you know, because and it was good. I was like, oh, that's really good. Like, you know, like I'm glad he came over and said that about me. It just gave me that confidence. So it was good. Yeah,
I can't remember exactly what it was, but I think Steve he said something about your technique, and he just gets the good old Steve. Nod.
I kind of got a nod of approval, and I felt like, okay, I'm allowed to be here. I'm allowed to be
well, we had a conversation, and you stood out for technique and strength, and you were serious about what you were doing, you know, and you stood out. That's
Thanks.
Good.
The real deal.
That's right. Yeah. And something along the lines of, if you kept going, you would go far. Yeah. So that was our conversation.
Yeah. Well, I do remember you said that to me at the end of it. Yeah, and you came up to me at Pro Raw as well. So I was like, I know I wanted to. Well, I knew myself I wanted to do it anyway, and then I didn't want to just be here for a year. You know.
No.
And then when you have some people giving you support like that, it would really made a massive difference to me. Yeah.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
So what's next for you guys as far as competing goes?
So I'm looking at the only thing I want to improve on is my total.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at a bigger total at Pro Raw.
Yep.
And as I was saying to Steve, you know, I don't care about winning, podium finish. To me, it's about a total.
Yeah.
Because
About just getting better.
Yeah, just getting better and maybe having an all-time Masters record.
Yeah.
So that's my goal anyway.
So essentially doing the best that you can do
all the time.
Yeah.
And I guess that's the most satisfying, isn't it?
Yeah, by far.
Yeah. What about for you, Steve?
I'll do the national geriatric competition in October. Yeah, I'm looking
Is that the one
forward.
in Perth?
Masters Nationals at Perth at the Rucci's gym. It's an amazing gym, that gym.
Yeah.
No, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I haven't done a powerlifting comp since before the last bodybuilder, so that's
5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
5 years. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, really looking forward to it, especially to see what I've done now. To see how it converts and how I feel.
Yeah.
You know, because I'll be 5 years older. That'll be really interesting for my whole learning process about as we age and what goes on and what you can and can't do and what I've done to date.
Yeah.
How it all rolls out and plays out.
It's good that you're always evolving and always learning, and that's the thing that I love about you guys as well, is that there's the people that think that they know everything already, and it's like you never know everything.
No.
No,
It's just like it's
never
always
know.
something to learn about yourself, about everything.
Yeah.
So
It's like when I go and see younger coaches, the ones that I believe are good, and I say, forget that I'm older than you. Just, just forget everything. Just be who you need to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one of my goals is a big bench.
Not one of your goals. The goal.
The goal.
Those arms already have a big bench.
The goal,
Yeah.
big bench.
Yeah.
So what's the number in your head? What do you want to hit?
140.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the old 3-plate bench. That's
Yeah.
a serious bench.
140.
unreal.
So that's my vision, and I will keep chipping away and working towards it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, have you always had a strong bench?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you had those like long periods where it doesn't go anywhere?
Yes.
Okay, just because I know I have, and I know that that's what happens. But then I have like some of the women who I train are just like, and I'm like, that's just what bench does.
I always say my next lifetime. I always say to Steve, if my legs were as strong as my triceps.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'd be a phenomenal squatter.
Yeah.
But I've had a lot of setbacks with bench due to distal clavicular stenosis that I have in my shoulders. But it doesn't stop me. I just have to back off sometimes. So I have periods where I have to back off. But, I'll take a few steps back, but then I'll move forward again. So it's just taking a little longer.
And that's just part of the process, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people forget. Like, just the numbers just don't always climb.
No, go up and
Linearly
down,
up.
like you
No.
said before, up and
Yeah.
down, up and down.
Squat goes up a little bit, bench comes down a little bit, deadlift goes a bit more, you lose a little bit from here, gain a little bit there. But eventually over time, if you trend it, it trends up eventually.
Yeah. And it's, again, the consistency. You don't stop altogether.
Yeah.
Just back off, but still keep going through the,
Yeah. It's funny you say that about your triceps because I was just training a lady down in the gym when you were training, and I just said, your triceps are the equivalent of my quads.
yes, that's right. Well, I can't buy clothes. I can't buy shirts. I have to buy men's medium.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
But anyway, next lifetime, I'll go back in a different shape.
No, who cares? Fuck the clothing.
That's one of
labels.
those good problems for bench
Yeah.
though, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And what about for you, Steve? You said you're going to compete in bodybuilding again? Another goal?
There's
Bodybuilding?
myself and two of my mates. We've already committed ourselves to the 2020 Arnold Classic,
Awesome.
Awesome.
so we'll front up there again and see how we turn up. Yeah,
Great.
yeah. It's good. It's good to have the goals. It's good to have things in place to look forward to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Daunting as they may be sometimes, and somewhere along that path, but it just keeps your head in track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always said I will never do bodybuilding, and then I don't know. So many people have asked me that, like especially coming up to pro roll when I got so lean. Are you going to get on stage? You're going to get on stage. You're going to get, and I'm like, no, just shut it down all the time. And then I don't know what happened the other day. I was like, maybe I will do it one day, And then I was like, well, maybe I'll do it when I'm 40, because that's not that far away, and then that's a good goal, for that. Obviously, I'm not going to do it while I'm thinking about
Just a
competing
break from
for
powerlifting
But yeah,
too.
yeah,
Yeah, that's why.
Just
people
see
ask,
mentally
just
how I
a
handle with
break.
it.
Yeah.
It's a good break.
yeah,
It is a good break.
Different training.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've started doing bodybuilding style of training. That's how I got into the gym.
Yeah.
So, that's how I got into doing heavy weights anyway. Yeah, it is a good process. Feeling the pump.
Yeah, and they complement well.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's good to just give those movement patterns and those joints a rest.
That's
Oh,
right.
I'd
Not
Real-
just smashing the...
Rehabilitates your whole body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
does.
Well, we do a lot of bodybuilding accessories anyway.
Yeah.
That's the reason I've got the delts I've got. They didn't just pop up from deadlift. Yeah, there's a lot of flies done behind the scenes. That is good. I do enjoy it though. It's really good, especially when if you maybe have a bit of a shit day program wise. If you don't hit the numbers that you anticipated to hit, and then you go, all right, well, I can just have my accessories, and then you
That's
go get a
right.
real good pump, or
Yeah.
just smash them out with
Yeah,
no rest
you'll
or
feel
something.
better.
Just
Yeah.
feel on fire.
Feel good.
Feel like Arnold. I give Shannon a little pose down. I don't know how to pose though. That's what I was saying to you before. If I got on stage in a bikini, I don't think I could do anything like glamorous. I'd be like, just a little Hercules or something.
No heels.
So yeah, no heels for me. I'll just trip over.
So Maria, with the thing you said where you train the
Strength over cancer.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's a volunteer position, you said?
That is, we're not funded.
Yeah.
It's volunteers.
Yeah.
Volunteers. So we would like, we haven't gone nationwide because we're just starting.
Yeah.
But any personal trainer or trainer that's happy to volunteer some of their time,
Yeah.
the participants go through a 6-week program
Yeah.
of 3 1-hour up to 1 hour sessions. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, we block out an hour for them. Sometimes they can't get through the hour, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Per week.
Yeah.
And then I've found with all my participants after that, they've wanted to stay on and continue
Yeah.
their training. Snap is great because it offers free membership
Okay.
to the people that want to stay on and train with the program,
Okay, that's good.
which is really good.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's not funded.
Yeah.
It's,
So if anyone wants to get involved in that, how do they get involved? Do they just
yeah, there's a Facebook page,
Okay.
Strength Over Cancer, and
Yeah.
they can inquire
Just
through that
inquire
page,
through
and we'll
there.
get back to them. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
awesome,
any
that's
trainers,
great.
coaches out there that are happy to know what's going on and offer
Yeah.
some of their time for the yeah.
That's great.
excellent? Any of you guys currently taking on any clients? Besides,
For-
like just personal training clients and stuff like that?
Are we taking
Yeah.
on?
Yeah. You're
Right,
full.
we've got waiting.
Long.
Long way. the only time I make for which is out of my training clients' time is
Yeah.
for the participants
Okay,
of the
cool.
cancer program. Yeah. Other than that,
Yeah. Stay away.
I would love to, but I can't. We would love to, but we can't. Yeah.
Don't lie, no you wouldn't. I'm full, that's it.
Someone needs to invent that 30-hour day.
No.
No, you just work more, you wouldn't take it to chill out. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool.
So it's been awesome having you guys come down for the week
Thank
to
you.
come and train and
Yeah.
hang
It's
out.
been great.
Yeah, I really
It's been good.
appreciate that you came. It's good.
It's
I
been
always
good to
said
see
like,
you.
come to Sydney, come to Sydney.
Yeah.
We can.
Yeah, yeah, it's really good.
No, it was excellent, and it was great for you guys because I know you guys are not on social media and you're like very private people, and we really thank you for coming on the podcast.
been a
and-
pleasure.
It's been a
and
pleasure.
giving your
Yeah,
it's been fun.
2 cents. It was great. It was lovely.
And George and Otis also love having you here. As you know, we've seen the wild they've gone. Cool.
All
It's
right.
been great.
That's it.
Thank you very much.
You're very
Thank
welcome.
you.
Thank
Guys.
you.